me see if it's alright.
Yeah, you look good.
Good. Just waiting for. There is going to be a crowd at all. I'm going to start here shortly, whether there's people on here or not. Just because the importance of this is to just get the information out. Link is here to be part of it. Oh my gosh.
Link, buddy.
I'm resting so bad.
Come here, pal. We all know you're clean. Link just got his bath.
Hi guys. I see you starting to come on.
Come sit.
Can everybody hear me okay? I have some music on. If anybody can let me know if it's okay with the music. Everybody okay to hear my voice?
Go lay down. Go lay down. Go ahead.
Yeah? Sounds good? Alright, cool. Great guys, thanks. So, I've definitely been feeling called to be more consistent with my approach to showing up as a channel for you guys to help navigate some of the rocky energy that we have going on right now. Can you please stop with that? Thank you. Just navigating some energy right now. So this is really important for me to start coming on more often and more consistently to help you guys understand some things that are going on that might be pretty ambiguous and confusing and also frustrating sometimes and challenging to deal with, especially right now with all of the energy that's bombarding us from all different avenues and areas and origins. That's a good way to put it. Because we've got energy interacting with our field right now that is not just natural. And there is a lot of that that is being felt by everyone physically and energetically, showing up as emotional imbalances. And I'm definitely not one to give our power away to external circumstances to say that the things that we are going through on a regular basis are not anything but our own to deal with. But let's face it, we do have to definitely try to navigate some energy that is not natural because of all of the electronics that we have around us, all of the wires that we have around us, and many things that we can't see on like invisible levels, which are like sound frequencies and stuff. So that's actually, as I'm opening up for the information to start coming through right now, I'm just narrating information without an agenda, because I'm just here to show up and let what wants to come through. And so what I'm understanding is the first thing that wants to come through is for us to be aware of things in our external circumstances, which is this, I'm seeing a bombardment of different frequencies being emitted from different like radio towers and stuff that are increased dense frequencies that are on a cymatic sound level, dissonant with the energetics of natural human energy flow. So this looks like, I don't know if anybody's ever understood or heard of sound warfare or cymatic warfare. And I don't know if we want to go so far as to say and claim that this is by far a complete intentional agenda, but regardless of whether it's intentional or unintentional, we do have negative sound frequencies in our airwaves that are not conducive to human energetic health because of just the nature of being in the electronic age and everything being run by computers and robots. Just what naturally happens there. when that happens. So being aware how you can navigate this, you're going to start feeling this. I'm seeing a lot of people dealing with situations in the upper abdomen because of this. This is hitting people and they're receiving it on an energetic, physical level, in their upper abdomen, in their heart chakra, in their throat, in their upper heart throat. I'm seeing it's all like right here, from like solar plexus up to our throat chakra is where all of us, I don't really understand how it is in terms of why it's this way. I don't know if that these frequencies that are being emitted are specifically bad for these chakra vibrations between the solar plexus and the upper throat. But I am seeing that as our aura bodies interact with these negative sound frequencies, this is where we are feeling it, okay? It's hitting us in these areas. So I'm seeing that we're going to be feeling it in kind of like anxiety, like heightened anxiety in our chest. Some people will be just feeling overwhelmed with, it's just like an anxious feeling I'm seeing. Feeling like they don't understand why they're feeling irritable, and not to say that our own emotions aren't something that we might be having to just process through on spiritual and mental levels, but I am seeing that these things that I'm talking about are making it a little bit more unstable for us right now to try to remain calm and balanced. So I do want people for this week to be aware of why they might have been feeling more anxious in these chakras lately. Up in specifically this area, I'm seeing it like upper heart the most. I'm also feeling and seeing tightness of chest, and that being more towards the solar plexus, almost like a constriction of the solar plexus is what I'm feeling also. This is something, these messages are for collective level. This is not just individual. This is not me that I'm talking about. This is collective experience. So more than just one person should be understanding this message, apparently. So constriction in the upper abdomen, and then also anxiety waves in the upper chest. So these are some things that we're going to be noticing right now, and these are actually, surprisingly to this reading for me, is not what I was expecting to see. I was expecting to be talking about star frequencies. I was expecting to be talking about the solar energies right now. That is probably going to come in, I'm assuming, if they're going to let me talk about that. But what they want to talk about today is all of these external frequencies. So what we can do to help ground ourselves and to help protect ourselves from these negative vibrations that are emitted through, I'm hearing cell towers and radio waves through cell towers I'm seeing. Organite. If anybody has organite, that is something that is really positive to help ground these frequencies. Organite, I'm not too familiar on how you go about making it, but there are a couple people that are probably going to watch this live feed that could probably help people understand where to get organite or what organite is. But from what I've understood in channeling about organite, not the logistics of how to make organite, but the spirituality of it, is that organite is basically a man-made conglomeration of minerals, stones, rocks, different metals that are held together in a resin with a particular purpose and intention. And when I channeled about this organite 2 years ago, I saw that organite is basically a what they showed me 2 years ago. They called it like a spiritual Tylenol that has been given and formulated by the collective consciousness at this time to help us process through ascension. Because let's face it, we're all going through some very interesting energy dynamics. And sometimes it's not so easy to navigate, and what's easy for us to get hard on ourselves, to think, oh my God, why am I feeling so crazy right now? Why am I thinking that? Why am I emotionally off base? When actually it's not always just your fault. That's the most interesting part about all of this, is that you are subjected to some things that are kind of not playing fair in the energy world. And so Organite was basically a collective production where now we have this man-made assisting tool to help us channel energy, block energy. So Organite is something that people should be looking more into right now. Keeping Organite close, you don't really need much. You just need kind of like a small piece to keep on your body to help you deflect these frequencies I'm seeing that are geared to assault your energy field. I'm also seeing to combat these vibrations with sound of your own. So I'm actually seeing singing. I'm actually seeing people going around singing, and people going around and verbally expressing higher vibrations than what we are interacting with. So it just looks like speaking high vibrational words, like speaking high vibrational, intentions out there to either the people around you, the world around you, singing it because you're joyful at the moment. So your own sound vibrations can also combat these negative vibrations. So make sure that when you're feeling negative, or you're feeling like challenged, or you're feeling off balance, make sure that you are counteracting that. A lot of us can go through those waves of energy imbalances and feel very victimized to them and feel very disempowered to them, but we forget that regardless of whether it's something that we can pinpoint where it's coming from externally, or if it's just something internally, we do have that ability, because we're in that moment of being able to identify our feeling at the moment, to flip it. This is where a lot of people are going to have to get conscious and responsible about our own energy, because a lot of us like to just say, oh, I'm feeling like crap, must be something going on that I'm victim to, and now I can't do anything the rest of the day because I feel like crap. I wonder why. But we don't really take that moment to realize that in that moment of realizing that we're feeling like crap, we have just as much power in that very same instance to flip that around. Because guess what? We can choose what we choose to focus on with our thoughts. We can choose what we talk about to our neighbors. We can choose what we want to speak, sing. We have a choice in every single moment to be the captain and the controller of our own energy. So really, if we're feeling off balance, whether it's where we know it's coming from or not where it's coming from, you do have the power to stop right then and there and catch yourself. It's okay to have a freak out moment. It's okay to have a freak out day. But it's not okay if you're going to sit there and say, I'm going to stay here and I'm not going to try to make it better. Because that's how all of us don't move forward in our lives. And that's how we just keep perpetuating the same dynamics that we've been seeing and keep complaining about in society from forever ago till now, is by saying, oh, this is going on and I can't do anything about it. So basically, what are you going to do about it when you're feeling like crap? What are you going to do about it when you're feeling overwhelmed? Let's not feel so disempowered anymore. What we're coming up against is really, we're being faced with stepping into our power on all fronts. The eclipses that we're about to go through right now, they're going to be shoving us, regardless of whether we want to or not. I've been saying this since last year. I will say this every single time, basically, I get online. People don't understand when I say this eclipse, you're going to be feeling this, and then afterwards it will be less of. Or this situation, you're going to be feeling challenged maybe in this way, or and afterwards, after that, not so challenged, is because you can choose how you're going to approach each turning point, so to speak, when it comes to astrological alignments that can help you move through breakthroughs, whether it just be any sort of cycle that you have on your own, that you, or maybe a birthday, is turning over a new leaf, a new year, anything that is like a turning point time, a threshold, is an opportunity for you to approach that with your power or your negative thoughts. So if you choose to approach all of these things in your victimhood, then you're going to still be feeling the same shit that you were feeling 1 year ago now, but worse. So it's not going to get better for you if you don't take an active part in it. So all of these eclipses, all of these intensities are going to keep pressing you more and more and more, and it's not going to get better if you don't work with the energies of the breakdown for the breakthrough. Understand that you're being asked to let go of something if it's challenging you. If it's not flowing and it's not going in your life, why are you still trying to hold on to it? Why do we make things so much harder for ourselves than it need to be? Why do we hold on to conflict? Why do we choose conflict? Why do we do all of these things that make it harder for us when, like, nature is trying to show you where it wants to go and where it wants to take you just by the natural progression and order of things? I've always judged my path forward by flow and synchronicity, and I've never been let down by following it like that. So watch for flow, watch for synchronicity, watch for ease, watch for abundance, because I have always taken the cue from the universe of a blessing and alignment through abundance. And if it is easily flowing and it's getting support, then that means that the universe is trying to get you to continue on in that manner. Keep your intention with your own peace, keep your intention with your own joy, keep your intention for the betterment and the good of all around you, keep your intention in service for humanity, for the betterment of all, and then watch what happens. The universe is going to guide you, and you're going to see miraculous events. Alright, so I don't know where that came from, but that apparently needed to be said. Okay, so apparently this week we're going to have people noticing their upper abdomen stuff, their heart chakras, their chest, their throat. I'm seeing the throat chakra is also going through fluctuations as well. Like people losing their voices. People are being challenged to express right now. Everybody's authentic form of expression, whether that be verbalizing it or just creating it through art, creating it through music, creating it through creative writing, however you are meant to be expressing yourself in your highest joy and your highest passion, that's what you're going to be finding being challenged right now and kind of pushed. You're going to be seeing yourself pushed into trying to find how you're best meant to express yourself. Throat chakras, how we express ourselves, creation, creativity, that's all coming up. That's going to be something you experience right now too. Alright. Headaches. They want me to talk about headaches. So apparently right now we have the third eye, people's third eye and the crown, but primarily the third eye is being activated right now as well. There is like a large amount of solar activity that is going, the eclipses I'm seeing are going to be blasting the third eye chakra to expand. And I'm seeing in this situation the rainbow frequencies. They're showing me a bridge between the third eye and the crown. So it's almost like another chakra, like right at the tip, at the top of your, where your forehead meets your hairline, is like another point apparently where there's like a rainbow bridge that is when your third eye is open and clear and opened with your crown chakra. There is a large connection made apparently with, I'm hearing, the solar angels, the solar frequencies. A lot of us are going to be getting a lot of downloads through this, I'm seeing. It's not necessarily the third eye, and it's not necessarily the crown. It's apparently like right in between those two, which is where there's like a lot of people trying to open up right now. So a lot of people with frontal lobe headaches, I'm seeing, temple headaches. And if you are experiencing headaches right now, that's your third eye primarily probably trying to open, is what it feels and seems like to me the most. And I'm seeing lots and lots of water. This is going to be pushed on the 15th, I'm seeing. July 15th, this is going to be a large day or area of time for this message to be coming through. There's a lot of people understanding what it means when I say now your third eye and your crown are connected. Where I think there might also be another large increase of rainbows right around that time as well, like people seeing rainbows everywhere. Watch for the rainbows on the weekend as a sign of your third eye opening and joining with your crown. So this is the way in which Spirit interacts with us and confirms to us what is going on with us on spiritual levels, is that it is, what day is it? It is the going into the 9th, so it's the 8th. But I'm telling you that by the 14th and the 15th, you're probably going to be seeing visual rainbows. Not because I'm a weather man or woman, and not because I'm predicting the weather, but because I'm seeing energy dynamics. And so rainbows will be showing up, and yes, they may look like bows and arcs in the sky. Maybe it's because there's some light refraction going on with clouds or something, but that's how Spirit's going to confirm to you through signs and synchronicities this message of rainbow energy opening up for you in your own field, is the visuals of rainbows. If there are not visual rainbows in your skies that day, I want you guys to look for lots and lots of rainbows on news feeds, Facebook, Instagram, social scenes digitally, in your world, maybe wherever you're at, what town you're in. Maybe there's a large focus on rainbows and decorations that day. Wherever the rainbows are showing up, it's going to be another rainbow. We're not going to probably get away from rainbow themes anymore, because it's just a huge... you're going to start seeing more and more and more rainbows. They're not going to stop. How beautiful. We're bringing color back into our world because we're understanding the finer frequencies of all that are around us. And that's a really beautiful connection to be grateful for. Pennsylvania and your clouds. Pennsylvania. People up in Pennsylvania, you have to start, apparently you have to start emitting more light. They're bringing my attention to all of the clouds over PA. And there is a direct correlation to the vibration of the people to the skies as well. So making sure that your inner landscape is bright and sunny, making sure that your inner landscape is one of peace and the light. There's like a large, this is interesting. I'm being shown that there is a dynamic in New York, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Jersey, down through Virginia. There's like a energetic belt that I'm seeing is being shown to me in the form of chains. It's like iron chains, and I'm hearing bondage. So, I think there's a lot of people that have been like reincarnated from when Egypt was like the slaves of Egypt. So when I do readings, I'm not just looking at this life if that's not where I need to be looking at. I'm also looking at previous times in the space-time continuum that are relevant here, apparently in the now moment, because these are themes being pushed to the surface to be healed and looked at right now collectively. And there is a theme of slavery. There is a theme of bondage and actual physical, cultural bondage and slavery that souls have been reincarnating. And a lot of those that have been enslaved in previous times have been accumulated in Pennsylvania, and being drawn there because apparently my heart is still involved here. I don't doubt that. But the more that you can release yourself from your own stories of slavery, of being indebted to, of being poverty, lack mentality, of this is really shows up in self-worth. Why would you allow yourself to be enslaved to anyone? Because now in this day and age, we have way more free will choice than we ever have if we truly look at it. None of us are really in shackles. We're going about our daily life in a sort of free way. So why do we allow ourselves to be in bondage? So this is a theme of indebtedness, apparently. We're being called upon to really focus a collective message of freedom, of it's really more, it's not just about freedom, it's about the energetic steps being made to break free from whatever has enslaved you. So it's not just focusing on freedom, it's actually grounding it, but that's a process in itself. So they just want, like, they're not moving from, I'm trying to change this, song is getting old. There we go. They're not moving the picture from the bondage iron chains here. So I'm just asking for more about that. There's a lot of forgiveness that needs to go on. There's a lot of forgiveness that has to happen for those that have felt trapped, for those that have felt like others have really kept them held back. The way out of this bondage is forgiveness first. And then I'm seeing that you give yourself your own freedom through that. So forgiveness is a main theme of anybody that is really having to step into their power right now for their own joy. Those that have felt victim to somebody or wronged by anybody, forgiveness is where we're going to shift that vibration. The sky in Pennsylvania. It's gonna start, I'm seeing that it's going to be pretty clear. And then it starts really going back again into the fall and winter. There's going to be more clouds again. Now, I know that this is times of the year where naturally things like this happen. But this is being shown to me as the ways in which, okay, I get it. They're knocking on my door too here because I do this too. Where we say that we're also, our joy and peace are subjected to seasons. So, so many empaths up north. So when those of us that are under this feeling of, oh, I'm seasonally depressed and I'm going into fall, I'm going into winter now, and so I'm ready to gear myself up for depression and this like sense of sadness, that's actually contributing to the gray skies as well. So kind of really this next year really seems like, and I'm going to stop after this, I think, but this next year is really going to be us having to take stock of how we allow our thoughts to be formulated and in what direction we allow them to go and to flow. So if you're already sitting there telling yourself that there's a season or a time of year coming up that's really sad for you before we even get to that time of year, you're going to experience doom and gloom basically during the seasons that you're expecting to. So this year is really all about us making our own reality very, very visible. And I'm seeing that that's a result of your third eye and your crown being so hooked up now, is that what you project out there with your thoughts, with your mind, is going to be so evident now. It's going to be so in your face. It's not even going to be a question, because manifestation abilities are going to be heightened like crazy around these eclipses and after. So your thoughts are going to really, 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 really reflect your reality more than ever now. So keep your thoughts empowered. Keep your thoughts one of ownership of where you're allowing them to go and what you're allowing yourself to create and experience, because that's really what you're going to experience now. I'm so preaching to myself right now as I'm talking to you guys. But if you're telling yourself that you're going to have a bad time, you will most definitely have a bad time. So the clouds are indicative of your thoughts of disempowerment or lack thereof. So everybody's expecting there to be sun. July, August is pretty good. September, there's still some clouds, but not as bad as when we go into October, November. So keep your thoughts conscious, keep your thoughts high vibrational as we approach the months in which we're expecting darkness, and see how you're able to shift the dynamics of the coming winter and the fall and winter of 2018 into 19. I'm just asking before I jump off if there's anything else that they're pulling my attention to the 13th before we jump off, which is the day of the eclipse. There is going to be like a large alignment that day. Total upper and lower, like as above so below. I'm hearing equilibrium. This is so cliche, but it's totally true. Right around the eclipse I'm seeing is, it's going to be a very heightened day of understanding what I just talked to you guys about, of how your thoughts control your experience. I'm seeing that a lot of people right now have really begun to understand and take back the power of their thoughts, and take control of them. So this eclipse for many people is going to be evidence for you of that healing that has truly gone on for yourself. So there's going to be, I'm being shown like a split of those that are going to experience this eclipse as like a high, and those that are going to experience this eclipse as a reminder of the work that they still have to do. Because I'm seeing that on that day, the energies will be intensified one way or the other, to a point where you're either having a really blessed, and I was going to say great, but they're making me use the word blessed. They're either you're going to be experiencing a really large amount of serendipity and a very blessed Friday the 13th, or you're going to be experiencing, I'm hearing Saturn. I didn't think Saturn was involved with that day, astrologically. But Saturn is being presented to me here in this reading of influencing the 13th. And when I see Saturn, I kind of think karma being involved. So how subject do you think you are deserving to be to karma, if it's something that you think is negative, right? So maybe that day is the day of reflection of karma. And the karma for you is really your patterns. And if you're in patterns of disempowerment, that day is really going to show you it. If you're breaking free from your karma and your patterns, that day's also really going to show you it in a good way. It's going to feel positive. So make sure that you're really approaching, I can't stress to you enough at this point how important it is to let go of anything that is not flowing. Let go of anything that is not in alignment, because it's showing you it's not in alignment. Maybe not forever, but at least right now, because there are ways in which timelines diverge and then come back together and converge down the road. If everybody that's interacting right now is not on the same wavelength, and it will be shown to you who is on your wavelength and who is not on your wavelength, or what occupation or job is on your wavelength or what is not, by the way it feels and the way it flows. If you're in a relationship or an occupation or a dynamic that is not flowing and does not feel positive and not feel empowering to you, don't try to make it something that it's not. Don't try to tell yourself and be in denial that it is when it's not, because it's very clear by the way that it's resisting to show you that it needs to be gone so that you can flow and be like water, my friend. So it's not going to get easier if you do not take responsibility for making it so. But the good news is that if you take responsibility for making it so and making the conscious choice to choose your peace, to choose your joy, to choose happiness and love, then you're going to be blessed and you're going to experience waves of that. So it's really in our face now, the power of our thoughts. It's really in our face. That's really the highlight of what this week is going to be for people. So that's on a spiritual, energetic level. So on Friday the 13th, I am seeing, I'll just keep, before I do leave this, I will just say that I am seeing a visual of a beam of, I'm going to say that this is energy, not necessarily visible light, although it may be visible light to some degree because it is such an intense energy beam I'm seeing. It's white and it's blue. So when I see white and blue energy, I was going to say Archangel Michael, but that's because white and blue is that color. But actually, as I was saying that, interpreting it that way, they were actually showing me Sirius, the star Sirius. So there's going to be a light frequency download of this white and blue Sirius star solar activity on the 13th as well. And 21st. So that will be about a week on the 21st. There's also another highlight for that. And then, so every week or so, every weekend for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, for about a month, around every weekend for the next month, we're going to be experiencing like upgrades from the Sirius star solar beams that I'm seeing, these blue and white beams. So that is one of the other things that is going to be, they're showing me cats, like wild cats. They're showing me like panthers, they're showing me lions, they're showing me jaguars, cheetahs. These are the types of like power cats. This is going to be evidence of that solar energy coming in. So watch for images of like the power cats on your timelines, or people talking to you about lions, talking to you about panthers, jaguars. Watch how these types of power cats are going to come into your energy. That is validation of you upgrading with the Sirian star system. And what I'm seeing that is, God, this just keeps going. What I'm seeing that is like a DNA activation of sorts. So that is also coming into play when I talk about your third eye and your crown and all of the rainbow stuff that we talked about earlier. So that's one of the things that I saw the 15th earlier, you're going to be seeing rainbows. And so that beam of light on the 13th of the Sirian energy is also going to help you with that as well. So watch for the cats around the 13th. So tigers as well. And watch for rainbows on the 15th. Okay. Everybody take care of their solar plexuses and their stomachs. One thing I wanted to mention is for people to be aware of parasites right now in your stomachs as well. That could be parasites in your stomachs. That could be parasites in your overall field with maybe sugar. Sometimes creates things like a fungus called candida, I think is what it's called. There's things that are parasitic in nature that a lot of us have in our physical bodies that we don't realize we are experiencing, but we're feeling fatigued and we're feeling sick and nauseous. And that's often a parasitic situation in our guts or in other parts of our blood, and we don't realize it. So be conscious of things that you might want to get checked out for physical parasites, but also energy parasites. And that comes in the form of addictions. So a lot of us have back problems, a lot of us have neck problems, and a lot of us have wherever like your electrical field and your spinal cord comes into play. They often attach in your spinal cord. So these are our addictions, these are our compulsions. And so if you're feeling very compulsive lately, then you're probably dealing with a parasite. Whether it be physically expressed through things in your stomach or your blood, or just a energy parasite that is trying to get you to feed its low vibration by putting you into low vibrational states of compulsion. Sometimes it's sugar that we're addicted to, sometimes it's caffeine, sometimes it's substances of other natures that are more destructive of the physical body. Sometimes it's sex, sometimes it's video games, sometimes it's a computer, sometimes it's television. But whatever you are compulsive about, that's what you want to be paying attention to right now as we're approaching the eclipses as well. Because that will be shoved in your face too as to how you are in bondage to something that you're giving your power away to, which you have the ability to take back your power from. Alright. So, okay, that's all the stuff to focus on, and probably things that may have been also being experienced for you up until this week. So yeah, I'm seeing now people are validating things about this reading in their own work that they've been experiencing. That's great. Please use this time and this comment thread to, if you have skills that can help with these things that we talked about today, because you are a facilitator in these manners, please feel free to offer your services on any of my pages and posts. I am happy to assist people to show up for other people in the way in which they've been trained and training for this time that we're in right now. So please share, please help people understand the stuff that was being said tonight if I didn't really explain it clear enough for some. I know that there's some of you that were watching it that can help explain. So thanks everyone for tuning in and also for helping everybody make sense of things.